Edgar Cayce repeatedly emphasized in his recorded readings that physical ailments frequently arise from spiritual disharmony. Throughout his extensive 43-year career providing psychic insights, he showcased an astonishing precision in medical assessments and healing advice that left traditional physicians puzzled. The archives of the Association for Research and Enlightenment in Virginia Beach hold thousands of confirmed instances where individuals underwent significant healing after adhering to his spiritual guidance. Even more astonishing about Cayce's contributions is that he never asserted he possessed any extraordinary abilities. He believed that every individual has an inherent link to what he referred to as the Akashic Records, a universal storehouse of all soul experiences and infinite knowledge. For more than 40 years, Edgar Cayce provided over 14,000 documented psychic readings, which are carefully archived at the ARE. Today, you will learn about the 7 steps he consistently outlined for elevating your soul's vibration before your time on this planet comes to an end. Be sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell, as the information I am about to share may change your perspective on consciousness and spiritual growth completely. The first aspect to grasp is what Cayce discovered regarding human consciousness. During his sessions, he consistently conveyed that we are not merely corporeal beings experiencing spirit on occasion. Instead, we are timeless souls, temporarily inhabiting physical forms, and each day we are either elevating or diminishing our soul's frequency through our thoughts, speech, and actions. Now this is where it becomes particularly fascinating. Cayce's sessions consistently pointed out that numerous physical health issues stem from spiritual roots. He explained that the soul selects each life for distinct lessons, and unresolved spiritual matters can present themselves as physical ailments or challenges in life. This highlights the initial stage of elevating your spirit, recognizing that you are an everlasting entity undergoing a brief human experience. Consider it this way: your soul resembles consciousness, while your physical body serves merely as the present vessel for its expression. The authentic you, the conscious essence of yourself, transcends this temporary existence. Cayce's recorded insights consistently demonstrated that individuals who fully understood this idea undergo significant transformations in their health and spiritual insight. In his readings archived at ARE, Cayce continuously stressed that our souls select each incarnation for particular spiritual growth purposes. Each challenge, every connection, and all opportunities contribute to the evolution of our souls towards deeper consciousness and empathy. Here's what Cayce uncovered that shifted the entire perspective on spiritual growth. The majority of individuals go through life in a state of unconsciousness, endlessly repeating the same patterns from one lifetime to the next, often overlooking the spiritual insights that each experience holds. Step 2 will reshape your perception of daily life, making you aware that every thought, word, and action shapes your spiritual fate. In the documented readings, Cayce repeatedly emphasized that thoughts are genuine forces in the spiritual dimension. He clarified that our emotional patterns and mental attitudes shape the experiences we undergo, not only in the current life, but also extending into future lives. This isn't merely a metaphysical theory. Cayce's readings offered concrete instances of how altering mental habits resulted in significant enhancements in individuals' health, relationships, and overall life situations. However, this is where many individuals encounter difficulties. In just 3 minutes, I will share what Cayce revealed about the link between consciousness and healing, which transformed our understanding of the mind-body connection. The second phase involves embracing total accountability for your spiritual growth. As outlined in Cayce's recorded teachings, your soul's evolution is solely influenced by your decisions and reactions to the various experiences life presents, not by external factors or other individuals. The ARE archives showcase many instances of individuals who have completely changed their lives by consistently applying this concept of personal spiritual accountability over time. Moving on to the third step, this is where Cayce's teachings truly become groundbreaking. Foster your link to the divine through regular spiritual practices. In his lectures, Cayce repeatedly highlighted that meditation goes beyond mere relaxation. It serves as a true connection to what he referred to as the creative energies of the universe. He introduced particular meditation methods aimed at harmonizing personal awareness with universal consciousness. The recorded instructions from Cayce regarding meditation emphasized that consistent spiritual practice creates pathways to wisdom and healing that go beyond typical human comprehension. He believed that anyone could cultivate this connection through dedicated and ongoing effort. However, this fundamentally alters our perception of consciousness. Cayce explained that through effective meditation, we can connect with the same universal intelligence he engaged with during his readings. This cosmic consciousness encompasses all knowledge and the wisdom needed for healing. Consider meditation as a way to align with this universal intelligence. Every answer, every bit of guidance, and every potential for healing is part of this cosmic awareness that Cayce showed is available to all individuals. The fourth step expands on this foundational concept. Cleanse your physical vessel to serve as a sanctuary for your spirit. In his health assessments, Cayce consistently emphasized that the purification of the body has a direct impact on spiritual sensitivity. The dietary advice he provided was not solely aimed at promoting physical wellness. Rather, it was intended to elevate spiritual consciousness and enhance psychic abilities. This aspect of Cayce's philosophy is truly remarkable. He realized that the physical body acts as a tool for the expression of the soul. The more pure and balanced your physical form is, the more clearly your soul can reveal its authentic essence and capabilities. Cayce's readings repeatedly suggested particular foods and practices that elevate spiritual vibrations, while pinpointing others that generate what he referred to as spiritual static. This static disrupts the natural connection between your soul and divine guidance. The ARE archives illustrate how individuals adhering to Cayce's holistic health advice frequently reported not only better physical health, but also increased intuition, more vivid dreams, and heightened spiritual awareness. This is where Cayce's insights into consciousness become exceptionally remarkable. His sessions consistently revealed that personal consciousness can tap into information that surpasses usual sensory awareness, encompassing insights into health issues, previous lives, and potential future events. This brings us to the fifth step. Nurture unconditional love and forgiveness as your foremost spiritual endeavors. Throughout his sessions, Cayce emphasized that harboring resentment, hatred, or an unwillingness to forgive generates spiritual toxicity, impacting both present life experiences and future lifetimes. He repeatedly highlighted that forgiveness benefits the one who forgives more than the person being forgiven. The recorded materials indicate that Cayce viewed forgiveness as a type of spiritual healing. It liberates harmful emotional energy that obstructs the soul's innate link to divine love and wisdom. However, what Cayce conveyed about love and forgiveness is often misinterpreted by many. Genuine forgiveness doesn't mean approving of negative actions. Rather, it is about liberating your own spirit from the spiritual toxins that hinder your personal growth. Based on Cayce's teachings, feelings of resentment and hatred act like a form of spiritual cancer, draining the energy of the soul and hindering access to greater wisdom and healing powers. The sixth step highlights one of Cayce's recurring messages. Utilize your distinctive talents and skills to aid others. In his recorded sessions, Cayce repeatedly emphasized that each soul comes into the world with particular gifts intended to help mankind. He stressed that identifying and nurturing these abilities contributes to both personal satisfaction and the spiritual advancement of the collective. Cayce's insights consistently indicated that souls find their deepest fulfillment when they utilize their distinct talents to assist others in healing, learning, and spiritual development. The groundbreaking aspect of this principle lies in the idea that your most significant challenges can often point to your most valuable gifts. Cayce frequently emphasized that the struggles or pain one endures can signify where one is destined to guide others in their healing and growth. Within the ARE archives, there are countless instances of individuals who uncovered a meaningful life purpose by converting their own adversities into ways to aid others confronting similar difficulties. Here's an idea that will significantly enhance your perspective on spiritual growth. Cayce's insights repeatedly emphasized that the evolution of each individual soul has a direct impact on the collective consciousness of humankind. Every individual who engages in spiritual development generates beneficial effects that reach well beyond their own experiences. This leads us to the seventh and concluding step. Consciously prepare for your transition after physical death. In his explorations of death and dying, Cayce consistently conveyed that physical death serves as a transition to a broader awareness rather than a conclusion of existence. He highlighted that souls engaged in spiritual preparation for this shift perceive it as an awakening to a more profound reality. Cayce's documented insights regarding the afterlife consistently framed death as a natural aspect of consciousness expansion, during which the soul reflects on its earthly experiences and decides on its subsequent stage of spiritual advancement. This is how Cayce reshaped people's perspectives on the dying process. Upon physical death, consciousness broadens to include all encounters from the present lifetime, fostering comprehension of how each experience has contributed to the soul's growth. However, the truly remarkable aspect is this. Cayce emphasized that it's possible to start the life review process while you are still living. His teachings offered concrete methods for reflecting on your experiences from a spiritual standpoint, enabling you to grasp the soul lessons embedded in each circumstance. Consider this as a form of spiritual readiness for graduation. Rather than departing from Earth with unresolved spiritual matters, you have the opportunity to fulfill your soul's educational journey and make the transition feeling accomplished in the lessons absorbed and the service provided. Cayce's personal perspective on death illustrated these concepts effectively. As recorded in various accounts, he confronted his terminal illness with serenity and even a sense of eager expectation, perceiving it as a shift to a broader awareness rather than a conclusion. So, what does this imply for you in the present moment? Each and every instant offers a chance to implement these 7 steps and enhance the growth of your soul. Spiritual awakening doesn't hinge on extraordinary situations. It starts with your upcoming mindful decision. Begin with the first step. Genuinely embrace the concept that you are an everlasting soul experiencing a brief human existence. Allow this insight to reshape your reactions to everyday obstacles and disappointments. Once you recognize that present struggles contribute to your soul's learning, each situation becomes a chance for development instead of a cause for distress. Transition to the second step by fully assuming responsibility for your spiritual journey. As emphasized in Cayce's teachings, the growth of your soul hinges solely on your personal decisions and dedication to expanding your awareness. Execute the third step by creating a daily link to divine consciousness through either meditation or prayer. According to Cayce's recorded teachings, even short instances of genuine spiritual engagement can unlock extraordinary pathways of insight and healing. Move on to the fourth step by honoring your physical body as the sacred temple that Cayce emphasized it should be. Cleanse your diet, remove harmful substances, and notice how this physical purification elevates your spiritual awareness and sensitivity. Embrace the fifth step by consciously nurturing love and forgiveness, particularly towards those who have inflicted pain upon you. Keep in mind that, as per Cayce's philosophy, forgiveness acts as a form of spiritual healing for your soul. Move on to step 6 by recognizing and nurturing your individual talents to assist others. Cayce frequently emphasized that the deepest sense of satisfaction arises from utilizing your distinctive skills for the spiritual betterment of humanity. Lastly, adopt step 7 by intentionally readying yourself for the transition beyond this physical existence. Such preparation alleviates fear, enabling you to live more freely, with a sense of purpose and heightened spiritual consciousness. However, there's an additional concept that Cayce frequently imparted, which can transform your perception of your spiritual path. In his readings, he highlighted that specific souls choose to reincarnate during particular historical eras to aid in the spiritual progress of humanity. The documented readings reveal that more evolved souls often feel an inclination toward spiritual insights from a young age, experiencing what Cayce termed spiritual homesickness, a feeling of not entirely fitting into a purely material reality. If you find yourself drawn to this information regarding soul progression, Cayce's teachings imply that such attraction is a sign of advanced spiritual growth. Souls that are prepared for elevated consciousness instinctively pursue knowledge about their genuine nature and purpose. The recorded insights consistently indicate that those who are spiritually advanced frequently face greater challenges in physical existence, as they subconsciously recall the tranquility and freedom of higher realms. This sense of unease ultimately aids in spiritual growth by discouraging excessive attachment to the material world. As per Cayce's teachings, such spiritual restlessness is a valuable gift that helps enlightened souls remain focused on their authentic purpose of consciousness, expansion, and assisting humanity in its spiritual awakening. In his later readings, Cayce elaborated on moments when humanity must make decisions between spiritual advancement and persistent materialism. He emphasized that spiritually evolved beings choose to incarnate during these transformative periods to help steer collective consciousness toward a deeper understanding. The current global challenges and transformations resonate with Cayce's depiction of transitional phases, where outdated systems yield to newfound spiritual insights. His teachings emphasize that souls possessing advanced awareness tend to emerge as leaders during these shifts due to their heightened perception. Here's how this relates to your everyday life. Every obstacle you face, every challenging individual you encounter, and every instance of doubt presents a chance to showcase elevated consciousness and contribute to grounding new spiritual energies on the planet. Rather than feeling exasperated by those who appear to resist spiritual truths, keep in mind that each person has a significant part to play in the collective spiritual evolution of humanity. Your role centers on nurturing your personal spiritual core and fostering your conscious growth. Cayce frequently emphasized that enlightened souls tend to experience a sense of isolation as their understanding of reality diverges from that of the majority. However, This perceived loneliness is a vital aspect of spiritual readiness, encouraging individuals to seek inner strength and direction instead of relying on outside approval. The recorded instances indicate that those who adeptly undergo this preparation cultivate what Cayce referred to as attunement to the Christ consciousness, not merely a set of religious beliefs, but the genuine embodiment of divine love, wisdom, and healing energy. This embodies your ultimate spiritual goal and your true purpose. Each phase of conscious evolution brings you closer to a full unification of both human and divine awareness. Upon reaching this alignment, you transform into what Cayce referred to as a conduit for creative energies, becoming a mindful vessel for healing, insight, and transformation. Your soul selected this lifetime not for leisure or simplicity, but for the remarkable chance to engage in humanity's spiritual awakening. The 7 stages we have discussed serve as your guide to achieving this sacred mission. The moment for spiritual growth is not some distant future. It is here and now, with your next breath and your forthcoming conscious decision. The recorded work of Edgar Cayce illustrates that every individual has boundless potential for expanding their consciousness and contributing to humanity. Your spiritual advancement is not solely for personal development, but also for the healing of the planet. The progress of your consciousness influences not only your personal journey, but also the collective enlightenment. The evolution of your soul transcends this lifetime, extending into infinity. Edgar Cayce's 14,000 documented readings validate the effectiveness of these principles. Countless individuals have embraced his spiritual insights and undergone significant changes in their health, relationships, life purpose, and spiritual awareness. However, the most crucial insight is this: you possess the same cosmic consciousness that Cayce showcased in his recorded endeavors. The universal intelligence he tapped into during his readings is accessible to anyone prepared to cleanse their consciousness and align with divine wisdom. Your soul has made the choice to exist in this precise moment in history for a unique spiritual mission. The current awakening taking place on our planet calls for mindful individuals who grasp these principles and integrate them steadily into their everyday routines. Do not allow this information to serve only as a source of amusement. Instead, permit it to revolutionize your entire way of living. Start implementing these 7 steps today and witness how your perception of life evolves towards deeper significance, intent, and spiritual fulfillment. If this video has expanded your understanding of your soul's amazing potential, hit that like button and subscribe for additional transformative spiritual insights. Send this to someone who needs to grasp their authentic spiritual essence. Your soul tribe is eager to embrace these transformative teachings. The universal classroom is always in session, and another lesson is poised for your engagement. The real question is, are you prepared to elevate your consciousness? Keep in mind what Edgar Cayce demonstrated through more than 14,000 recorded readings. You are not merely a human undergoing a spiritual journey. Instead, you are a spiritual entity experiencing life as a human, and the conscious growth of your soul is the most significant endeavor you will ever engage in. Your transformation starts with the next mindful decision you make.